What would you do if the one person who is supposed to be your partner announced they were taking their dream job, knowing it would completely and permanently destroy your own career? In today's story, the protagonist's choice is a masterclass in how to handle it. For privacy, the details of my story will be a little vague, but the core of the problem remains. I'm 33 years old, and I am the primary breadwinner of our household. This isn't a small gap in income, it's a chasm. I have multiple, highly specialized degrees that I worked for years to achieve, all for a very niche industry. My current salary is over $200,000 a year, with a clear path to earning in the $600,000 to $1 million range in the future. My field is built on secrecy and trust. Think of it like this. It's as if my entire career was dedicated to protecting the privacy of high-profile celebrities, ensuring their secrets stay safe. My company and our clients rely on absolute discretion. Any hint of a leak, any potential conflict of interest, and you're not just fired, you're blacklisted. You become permanently tainted, and you can never work in the industry again. I know this sounds like an extreme exaggeration, but I promise you, it is the absolute truth. Because my background is so specialized, this is the only field I can work in. There's no plan B. My husband, Mark, who is 36, has a much more generalized degree and work history. Just before the COVID-19 pandemic hit, he decided to quit his job to look for something better, and I was fully supportive of his decision. He spent months applying everywhere, and finally, he landed an interview at a place we'll call Organization X. This was, in almost every imaginable way, his dream job. The problem? The salary was only about $65,000 a year, which on its own wouldn't be an issue. Except for one catastrophic detail, this job put my own job stability in immediate and total jeopardy. My company and Organization X are, to put it mildly, adversaries. If my clients discovered that my spouse was working for what they consider a direct competitor, my credibility would be shattered instantly. To use the earlier analogy, it would be like my husband taking a job at TMZ. The mere association is career-ending. The risk is that if he ever got access to my work devices or even overheard a conversation, he could use that information to advance his career, and any trust one have in my field would be gone forever. And even if I trusted Mark completely not to do that, my company and my clients don't know him. They wouldn't, and shouldn't, take that risk. I sat him down and explained everything. I asked him to withdraw from consideration for the job, laying out the stakes as clearly as I could. If he got it, we would lose my income, and his $65,000 salary could not support our life in this city. I reminded him that while the job market is tough, his broad background gives him a wide range of options, whereas I only have this one, very specific path. I even told him that if he wanted to go back to school for an advanced degree or just remain unemployed for a while longer until the right, non-conflicting job came along, I would support him without hesitation. He was furious. He exploded, accusing me of being selfish and only caring about money. It was at that moment Mark made a choice that would change everything. He believed he was fighting for his career, completely unaware that this single act of defiance was not just jeopardizing my future, but sealing the fate of our marriage. The conversation was a brick wall. So, behind my back, he continued with the interview process, and then, he got the offer. He came to me, not with an apology, but with a demand. He wanted to accept it. He said his career needed to take priority for once and that I wasn't being a supportive wife. As one commenter later pointed out, he seemed to have decided a single job offer was more important than my entire career. He was calling me selfish, but he was the one refusing any and all compromise. The feeling of betrayal was overwhelming. He knew the reasons why he shouldn't pursue this job, yet he did it anyway. As another person wisely noted, this was bigger than just jobs. It showed he had very little respect for me. I knew I had to act fast, before this could be discovered through a background check, which would look far worse. I had already contacted the relevant higher-ups at my company the moment I learned about his interview. I informed them of the potential conflict of interest to get ahead of it. It was the only way to protect myself. Now, standing in our living room with his job offer hanging in the air, I laid out my own terms. My voice was calm and steady, but the words were the hardest I've ever had to say. I told him he had two choices. Option 1, he could decline the offer, and I would need to physically watch him do it. Option 2, he could accept the offer, pack a bag, and move out immediately. I told him I would pay for him to stay in a hotel for 2 weeks while we began divorce proceedings. My company, seeing how I handled the situation, had already offered to cover all of my legal fees. He stared at me, his face a mask of disbelief, and called me heartless and cold. Maybe he was right. It's true that I was prioritizing my career over his dream, but it felt like he had backed me into a corner where that was the only possible option. He had put me in the horrific position of choosing between him and my career, the very career that supported us both. I still love him, and that's what makes this so awful. But I moved decisively because it was the only way to cut my losses and salvage the life I had worked so hard to build. It hurts, but I know I made the right choice. I could not live with the resentment of losing everything I had ever worked for because he chose his dream over our reality. Ultimately, a partnership cannot survive when one person's ambition requires the complete destruction of the other's livelihood. Mutual respect is the foundation, and he had demolished it. So, I have to ask, when a partner's dream directly conflicts with your shared reality, where do you draw the line between support and self-destruction?